the basis of the Ezra Bible. In the time of Moses, the people of Arabia, that is, Africa and Arabia, worshipped many gods and lords, whose high heavenly captain was Osiris. 4 chief gods were under him. They were Baal, Ashtaroth, Dagon, and Ashdod. There were 27 other gods also, known to mortals. When the Israelites traveled forth amidst the different tribes, they were beset to know what lord or what god they worshipped, and by what lord or what god they were led forth. The light and wisdom and words came to Moses, to say to the nations,
Alas, his name, whom we worship, man dare not utter.
Within the commune families were certain signs and passwords belonging to the different degrees. There were also rules of life and worship, but these were kept secret from the multitude. But the instruction of the commune fathers to the families was by this method made to harmonize all the people. For general behavior, Moses gave 10 commands, which were not only made public, but were incumbent on the commune fathers to teach orally to their respective families. The following are the commandments thus taught, that is to say,
I am, the I am, that brought thee out of Egypt. Thou shalt have no gods nor lords but the I am. Thou shalt not make any image of the I am, out of anything that is in heaven above, or on the earth beneath, or in the waters. Thou shalt not bow down thyself before idols nor images, nor anything having the form of anything in heaven, or on the earth, or in the waters. Thou shalt not speak my name in public, for I will not hold him guiltless that giveth it to idolaters and lovers of evil. Remember the sacred days and keep them holy. 6 days shalt thou labor, but the 7th day is the Sabbath, that is, the Sabbath. Honor thy father and mother. Thou shalt not kill any living thing. Thou shalt not commit adultery. Thou shalt not steal, nor bear false witness, nor covet anything that is another's.
In those days it so happened that one Kotha, an Egyptian woman, a Suez, went into the lodge at noon, no person being within the lodge save herself. Now, whilst she was examining the remnants of showbread and basins, and the candlestick, a voice spake to her, saying,
Touch not these, they are sacred.
But the woman, knowing it was a spirit, said, If I tell what I have heard, I will be accursed, for was it not the multitude of Syrians that brought the plagues on Egypt? Again the voice spake, saying,
I will give thee the signs and passwords of the high fathers, that they may also know, that thou knowest.
Now, thereupon the Spirit told her the secrets. And he likewise said, Say thou to Moses,
The I am, saith, and Moses will wonder at thy speech. Behold, these implements are sacred. Hide thou them by day, so they who have spirit perception, perceiving them, will obtain the signs and passwords.
The woman, Kotha, did as commanded, and Moses commanded workmen to make a tabernacle, a model, or image of a place of worship, a portable temple, and the sacred implements were kept within said tabernacle, and this was the corporeal base of the Ark of Bon, a locality in the Ethereal heaven, by which the light of the sacred heaven reached the earth to Moses and his people, in a pillar of cloud by day, and of light by night. The secret ceremonies commanded vegetable diet for fathers, prophets, seers, and Wanonis, trance subjects. And many of Kotha's people followed their example. After some years of experience, those who fasted from flesh murmured, saying, What have we gained for our sacrifice? So they broke their fast by hundreds and by thousands, and there came by their camps numberless birds, and they caught and killed, and ate them freely. But, being unaccustomed to such diet, they were taken with fever, and died, upward of 60,000 of them, men, women, and children. And the place was called Kibroth Hattaavah, the place of lustres. In the year 3269 BK, that is, before Cosman, the Israelites began to marry with the Canaanites, who were under the control of Baal. Ashtaroth, whose dominions extended jointly with Baal over western and southern Arabia, sent spirit emissaries to the handsomest of the women of Canaan, and by impression led them into the camps of the Israelites, to tempt the young men, for by these means did the heathen gods determine to destroy the worshippers of the great unseen. And many of the Israelite young men were tempted by the beauty of the heathen women, and thus took them for wives, and said wives brought with them their own familiar spirits, who were slaves to Baal and Ashtaroth. The ark of Baal immediately sent Jerub, an Etherian angel, into the Israelites' camp, giving him 2,000 inspiring spirits, to counteract the labors of Baal and Ashtaroth. Nevertheless, it so came to pass that when the half-breed children were grown up, having Canaan mothers, they began to murmur against the peace policy of the Israelites, saying, as other people have kings and emperors, why not we? As other people raise up soldiers, declare war, and go forth possessing themselves of lands and cattle, why do not we? For 397 years, after going out of Egypt, the Israelites lived without a corporeal king, or other government, save the community of fathers, and they attained to the number of 6 millions of souls, men, women, and children. But in the 397th year, the gods Baal and Ashtaroth triumphed, through their familiar spirits, and caused the Israelites to anoint a king to rule over them. This king was called Saul, signifying of the Lord God. Prior to this the Israelites acknowledged no God nor Lord, but covenanted with the Great Spirit, Yohi. The name had been kept secret with the fathers, and the commandments were announced from the Great Spirit, I am. The familiar spirits now inspired Saul to change the words of the commandments to the Lord thy God, as a conciliatory stratagem, to please the nations and tribes of people who worshipped Baal, Dagon, Ashtaroth, Hawk, and other gods and lords of the lower heavens. Thus was substituted Lord God, Land God, for Jehovah, called sacredly Yohi, and, as the Great Spirit had been heretofore taught to the Israelites, as an inconceivable entity, whose form and extent no man could attain to know, so was he now transformed, and declared to be in the form of a man, and having a residence in the firmament of heaven. Thus they made the Great Spirit merely an idol, thus they began the overthrow of the holy doctrines of Moses. Yerub,